Alright, welcome back to another Roblox tutorial, and today we are going to be talking all about how to create custom animations inside of Roblox. So, just so you know, I got a sword right here from the toolbox. To get it, you'll just come in here, go to models, and type in sword. And you have a whole bunch of swords you can choose from. I just picked the top one here. But if you open up your toolbox, you can get this sword model. This video will not cover the moon animator. We will cover that later in another video. But if you really want to get good at animations, I strongly recommend you check out Moon because it is the best way currently right now to animate things in Roblox. But just to get started, we're going to go over the basic bare bones of animating inside of the in-house plugin that Roblox has, or the stock plugin, which is the animation editor. So to go ahead and get started, all you're going to do is build a rig right here, and you can pick what kind of rig you would like to use. In this case, I'm going to use a normal block rig, but you can use any rig you would like here. You're going to go ahead and create this rig right here. And then what you can now do is you can click on this and you can click animation editor. The animation editor is right here. I'm going to go ahead and dock that at the top of my screen. Right here. Then I'll go ahead and get rid of this for a second. We don't need this for now. And you're going to click on the dummy that you just made, and you can title this whatever you'd like. So let's do a swing. Okay, now here is your dummy, and here's your animation editor to create animations. So cool. This is all of that. Now you have this set up. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the sword model here, and I'm going to drag it over, and I'm going to make a weld with the right hand of our dummy here and the sword. So I'm going to take it here, rotate it just like so, move it down a little bit, and then just keep in mind how the Roblox character normally equips a sword. Generally speaking, they're going to equip it with like their arm out and all that kind of stuff. So if that's okay, we can configure that in a second. Go ahead and just bring this like that. Rotate this down just a little bit, right about there, and drag this down the sword. Right about there. Drag this out just like that. Rotate it down. Okay. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is make a weld between the handle of the sword and the right hand of the character model. To do that, you're going to come here to Model. You're going to click Create, and you're going to go down to Weld, which is in here. This is now different, but it's going to be right here, which is Weld. So you're going to select the handle of your sword. Your sword may have multiple components. You don't have to worry about that. You're just going to select that, and you're going to hold the control button. In my left hand here, I'm holding the control button, and I'm going to select the right hand. So now both of these items should be highlighted. Now you're going to come here, click Create, and you're going to click Weld. And that will create a weld between those two objects. And right here, you can see, oops, excuse me, did not mean to pull up the script. Right here, you'll see, it should actually be on your right hand. You have a weld constraint, and it's between the right hand and the handle, and this is essentially what's going to keep the sword attached to his hand during the animation. So now that I have that configured, I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to click on my dummy. Okay. Now to go ahead and get started here, I'm going to add all the body parts of the dummy currently in the model here. So I'm going to click Add All Body, just like so, and then up here is your keyframes. So this is the keyframes, or like the specific frame instances that are happening. These are not seconds by any means of the imagination. But I oftentimes recommend when you make an animation, just keep these in mind and the length of them. You can also create some easing styles here too, which we'll talk a little bit about. But oops, excuse me. Let's go ahead and just add our first keyframe sequence. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the right arm here. I'm just going to rotate the right arm up. Sorry, wrong angle. Boom. Just like so. Because this is generally when a Roblox character equips a weapon, they generally look like that, right? And that's going to be our very first keyframe. As you can see, it loaded the keyframe here. I'm going to bring in the arm just a little bit here. Move it in just a little bit. Looks like it got out of tilt there somehow. Boom. Nice. So that's our very first starting animation here. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to right click and I'm going to click Add Keyframes here. And this creates an initial start keyframe. And it's important that the right hand is kind of up like that for the start of this animation. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is we can go ahead and program a slash. So essentially, as you go along this timeline, dings, this is like the timeline of the poses that you want to strike here. So after about, let's say 5 seconds, I want to strike an initial start slash pose. So if I was going to start slashing a sword, you know, I would probably angle my arm out a little bit, kind of like that, a little bit back, you know, and then you can also angle these components as well. Just a little hair up here, and then you can come here to the lower his right hand as well. You can also pick the parts here. So here's his right hand, and you would probably angle this down just a little bit and back. So he's turning. Then what I would do is I probably angle his torso just a little bit. So he's turning into it. When I swing a sword, my left foot would be out and my right foot would be back. So I'm going to bring my left foot out just a little bit here, and my right foot back just a little bit, just like so. I'm going to take this, I'm going to angle it down. So there's a nice little bend in his knee, and then take his foot and plant it nice and solid on the floor. Here again, the same thing. I want to take his left foot, bring it back just a hair. So now I have some swinging momentum. What's wrong angle here? Red one is what I wanted. And then the right foot down just a little bit. Just kind of like so. Doesn't look like he started this animation on the floor, which was my mistake, but that's okay. All right, so that's just the first part here. Then about 8 in, I'm gonna have him turn a little bit, just a little bit more. Right here, maybe even bring his arm just up a hair a little bit. I would want the sword right hand facing now fully out. So I'll take the right hand here and rotate it so that the sword is now facing fully. The slicing end is kind of like that. And I might even want to rotate the left lower arm to match that. Actually, it's probably better to do it this way. Come here, you're gonna rotate this down just a little bit. You don't want it to seem too much like the sword is morphing or the body is breaking apart. So actually, let's bring this up just a little bit. Let's rotate this part down and this part out. Go. And then start out here, rotate him back a little bit more. Rotate that left lower arm down just a hair. Right, and as you can see, I'm just slowly micro adjusting, and then his right arm would probably come out a little bit. And then again down here, just come through, right? And this will come back just a hair, right? So I'm slowly just configuring the sword swing, and then I'm gonna come here. So I like 11, for example, I'm gonna swing his arm back through, and then I would even actually here, maybe even at 9, have his torso fully rotate. Now, if I wanted to see what this looked like in real time, all you're gonna do is just go to the very beginning of the thing here, and just rotating his arm down. Here we go, and just click play here. And that kind of shows you what he would look like, right? So that's kind of what he would look like. I don't like the way this is. Just gonna have this come in just a little bit. You could also have it extend across the body. Probably like that is more realistic. And then we can get rid of these keyframes. Okay, now the slash is gonna be faster than the wind up. So normally he's winding up, right? And I would even drag these over a little bit, right? And then the slash is gonna be faster. So I want the slash to be fast. So now I'm gonna come here. I'm just gonna come through, change the orientation of the arm here so he swings through. He's starting to swing through, so I'd want to bring his torso around. I'm gonna go ahead and realign this arm here. Actually, whoops, kind of want it even more pointed. The right arm here could just be a little bit better, but I think this will satisfy for now. Actually, if I kept rotating it, no, it's the way this is parented isn't quite right. There we go, we'll do that for now. Bring the torso in a little bit. And then through, next keyframe. rotate his torso through, and then I would say this foot is going to come even more forward. This foot's going to rotate out, just like so. And his arm's going to come through. Just a little bit. There we go, it's starting to come together. And the next keyframe, leg's gonna come back here, straighten out his knee. This leg's gonna come through. Like so, I would even move his humanoid root part forward just a hair. This leg's now gonna rotate down, just like that. There we go, starting to come together. And then rotate him out through. This leg should now fully extend, right? And if you guys are watching this video and you just want to see this sped up, I could probably speed this up for you all. But I'm just showing you, you want to be as meticulous as possible when you're doing this, because you want the animation to look as clean as possible when it's done, right? The more meticulous and the more detailed you are, the more realistic it's going to look when it's all put together. And that's really the hard part about animating. It just takes time, and it just takes a lot of work, honestly, on the person that's making the animation. So now this needs to rotate through, kind of like so. So now come to frame number 16 here. Take this through. I could take more time to make that look cleaner, but that's okay. Oops. Take this back. From the start, it's coming together a lot better. Through 17. I'll bring this arm all the way back now. It's going to be like the kind of the apex of the swing, and then rotate his body through. Yeah, this could have been better, but that's okay. Yeah, the only thing I would say about this animation is that the arm here could obviously be a ton better. Nice. And then we would want to take this keyframe, which was our initial keyframe, and make that our reset position. And I would even make that over here at like 21-ish here. All right, so he starts. There you go. Not too bad. Actually, he swings through. I would even take, because he's just gonna come. Say when this foot comes through here, I would make it even more. I'd make this really extend so it's really clear that he's kind of swinging through. And just even a little bit of a movement here on the humanoid root part. Go, and then even when he finishes, I would move his humanoid root part up a little bit. So again, this is just a nice little sword swing, nothing too crazy here. I'm not creating anything insane. But again, this is how you would create an animation. Now, after you are done creating the animation, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and come here. You're gonna click Publish to Roblox, and you're gonna set first you wanna set the animation priority to action. Then you're gonna come here, you're gonna click Publish to Roblox. Right here, swing. You'll click submit, so you can name this whatever you want. You're going to click submit. Now it's going to give you an animation ID here. You can copy this right here. And then you're just going to come over here to the workspace, create an object here, animation. And then you'll take that animation object wherever it pastes into my workspace, and you're going to come here and paste the animation ID, and it will load that animation that you just created. Now, if you don't want to continually publish animations over and over and over again, you can also come to Toolbox here, you can come to your models, and you can come down to My Animations, and it will also have that animation right here as well. So if you don't want to continually have to reprogram and program in stuff over and over and over and over and over again, and you want to keep stuff that you've already made, it's all right here. And you would just come here, copy asset ID, come right here, paste, and you can bring that in. In the next video, I'll show you guys how to import this, but this is just a sample way of creating that animation. Okay, so if you have any questions, let us know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.